Hello and welcome to our overview of the Realityworks new online contemporary entrepreneurship program. Today we're going to be giving you a look at the course overview. We are going to take you over to the student and the instructor dashboards. We will also be walking you through a sample lesson so that you can see what it looks like. We'll be talking about how the assignments and assessment are handled, and then we will also finish up with the purchasing process and how to renew once a purchase is final. So first of all, let's take a look at our course overview. Our online course for Contemporary Entrepreneurship has 10 different lessons, and each of the lessons is a standalone lesson, and students work their way through the 10 lessons, and it culminates with that capstone project of what we're calling Product Pitch Day, where students actually come up with a product concept, and they write a business plan, and they pitch that plan to a panel on that final day. The online course also does have assessment built in, as well as a certificate of completion. So you can hand something to the student and there's proof that they've actually participated in and learned specific skills. So here are a list of the 10 lessons that you'll find in the course. First of all, it goes through introduction into the whole entrepreneurial process. And students take a look at what kind of traits make a good entrepreneur and good leader. Then they're going to learn all about different types of market research and how to conduct it. They will be taken through many different financial and legal issues that entrepreneurs need to deal with. And then they'll begin to write their business plan. They're going to come up with some kind of a service or a product idea. And then they're going to complete all 10 parts of the business plan. And it's going to culminate again with pitching the product. They're going to put together a product pitch deck, slide deck, and they're going to pitch it to a panel. It's about a 10-minute process to pitch their product, but it really helps them think through all of the different issues as they're putting together their business plan. A few of the features we like to point out, this is a self-paced learning course. It's lesson by lesson. You can direct the students, or you can also send the students off. It's all self-directed, where they can complete the entire course self-paced. There is guidance through the lesson, and we will point that out when we're going through that sample lesson today. It's broken into sections. You'll have a progress monitor reporting where they are in the lesson at all times, so students know where they're at. There's some very practical application of skills in the different scenarios and activities today that you'll see. And then the instructor guide provides the instructor with what's needed to implement the program and some best practices and strategies that they can use as they work through the program with their students. There are many different interactive ways we're trying to engage students in the content. There are things called learning objects, and we'll show you some examples of these. There are videos embedded, there's some animations, there's self-checks and knowledge checks and click and reveal and all sorts of things to make the information come more alive and engaging to students. Exercises, and there are approximately 48 exercises, roughly 50 including pre and post assessment, that are completed, and they're actually submitted to instructors, and that helps keep the student accountable for their learning, but also gives the instructor an idea of what their students are mastering and gives them the ability to grade the students for the work in this course. So at this time, we're going to take you out to a sample lesson. The first thing I'm going to do is we are going to show you the student dashboard. And here's the dashboard that students have access to when it's purchased. You'll give your students a link. All of the different lessons you can see are by title here. And to start a lesson, let's say we're going to go through the market research lesson. You just click on begin lesson, and then the lesson loads. And you have a splash page here where it tells you the name of the lesson. Students can see what they're going to learn and the things that they're going to have to complete for each lesson. And then they start their course. On the left-hand side of the screen for each lesson, you will see the different chapters in the lesson. And as the student works through each portion of the lesson, the radio dial here, the circle, will fill in so students understand what's completed. Also, at the top of each lesson, it will say what section of the lesson that they are on. So right now you can see I'm on section 1 of 4 in this particular lesson. So as we scroll down, your students will begin to read about market research, and why you conduct it. And here's one of those learning objects where it's they click on the plus sign and it reveals more information to students about the thing that they're reading about. We also have many different videos embedded into the content as well. Again, here's another learning object where they're learning about different types of market research, primary and secondary. Click and reveal. There's more videos embedded. And then to go on to section 2, you would click continue. And then you can see at the top now, it says portion 2 of 4. And on the left-hand side, the circle is complete for part 1 because they have worked their way through that. So here again, we see another learning object where you can click on the arrow and it takes you through a process, step 1, step 2, and so forth. So they can read about and learn the steps in that process. You also have another learning object where there's the plus sign again, where they're clicking and revealing more information. You see some graphics here, which helps them see what the market research process is all about, the 5 steps. And then we come to our first exercise and they read the instructions and then they're actually able to type their information, their answers into the space provided. And then you'll see it says PDF up here where they'll save that as a PDF. And then at the end of the entire lesson, they will attach all the PDFs to an email to the instructor and they'll submit all of the exercises for this one lesson together. Here's another exercise where they're conducting their primary research and another one where they're going to have to think about whether their idea that they came with doesn't make the cut, will it be viable? So if you continue on to section 3 of 4, all of our lessons have a vocabulary exercise. There are a lot of new terms that students will be exposed to and learning about as they complete each of the lessons. So in each of the lessons, we have a matching exercise where students have to click and drag what they think is the right definition for the right term. And at the end, when they hit submit, it will let them know how they did. It will grade it for them, and then they'll submit that as well. And then the final thing for each of the lessons, there's a brief what's called knowledge check. Think of it as a short quiz for each of the lessons. The students are given the question, they submit each answer. It lets them know if they're right or if they're not. And in the end, then they go ahead and they save that as a PDF and they submit the quiz to the instructor. And you'll see down here, students can identify themselves via a number or whatever way the instructor wishes to have them identify themselves. They send and they attach all of the different, in this case, there were 5 exercises that will be submitted for grading for this particular lesson on conducting market research, and they send it off to the instructor, and the instructor receives it and can grade those various exercises. So that's what a typical lesson would look like in the program. We can also take a look at some of the assessment, which we just did. Here again is a sample exercise where they're saving it as a PDF, and you can also see a screenshot of one of those knowledge checks where they save it as a PDF. And again, at the very end of the lesson, you submit that to your instructor. And students will be directed by the instructor as to how they wish to have the students identify themselves so that they know who is submitting each of the assignments. And this is what that screen looks like where the students will submit everything to the instructor. And now I'm going to take you out to the Instructor Dashboard so you can see what that looks like. Oh, that's the student one. And here's, oh, this was our lesson, excuse me. Here's the Instructor Dashboard. For each lesson, you can do what's called start the course as far as the instructor goes. And then you're taken through a lot of different information for implementing each lesson. So there's a preface and then you can continue. And it gives you some ideas for how to assign the coursework by lesson. And you can scroll through that and it tells you clearly how to do that. It also tells you how to assign the course as a self-directed self-study where you can allow students to do it whatever time they wish to. And then it gives you some in-depth information on receiving those students' assignments via email. And we showed you that a little bit earlier, but this is more information for you on that. And then as you continue on, there's information about how to use the pre and post knowledge check as a way to see what students have learned over the course or the entire course. And there's also those knowledge checks at the lesson level as well as the summative. So you've got a couple of different ways you're able to assess student knowledge. In here, we also have an Excel spreadsheet that lists all of the different assignments by lesson. So you can track that. It's editable, so you can put students' names on it if you wish. This is what it looks like. You can see in the left-hand side column, there's the lesson topic, and then all the different assignment names. And then you can go ahead and edit it, and you can put student names across the top. You can fill it in as you receive each of the different assignments from each student. So it's just a great at-a-glance editable worksheet that will help you keep a pulse on how the students are working their way through the Contemporary Entrepreneurship program. So as we continue on through the Instructor Dashboard, there's a few implementation strategies and management tips for best practices that you may wish to check out. And then at the end, there's also an editable certificate of completion. So this is something that you can print out and hand to each student that works their way through the course. And it gives them their name, the date, your signature, and so forth. And it's a tangible thing that they could actually take with them, perhaps to job interviews and other things to show mastery of entrepreneurship content. So, and then of course, we get a little bit more into CTSO connections with some of the major ones. And you can see here, it has links to different competitions that align closely with entrepreneurship principles. And we also have some entrepreneurship standards that it's aligned to. So you can click on that, check that out if you need some standards information. And of course, if you have any type of issues, you can always contact our product support here. You can chat, you can email, or you can call. So a lot of different ways you can reach out to us. Again, here's that editable tracking form that we talked about. That makes it really, really easy at a glance to see where your students are at. So let's talk a little bit about the purchasing process. If you decide that this is something you'd like to purchase, there are a few different license options available. You can buy them at the teacher level for just you, the school building level, which would be a school site license, or district. And we have lengths of 1, 3, and 5 years. But once you purchase it, you can use it with as many students as you wish at that level. So if you're a teacher, if you buy the per teacher site license, you can use it with all of your students if you wish. A school building could use it with all the students in that building, or even a district could use it with as many students within the district as they'd like. Each of you as a customer receives a unique login, just one login for your site, your class, and you share it with students to access that student dashboard that I showed you earlier. And that's all the more complicated it is. There are not individual student logins, but rather a link that you get that's unique to you or your school site or per teacher, and you give that to your students. Here's a look at the pricing. You can also see the pricing on our website store at realityworks.com, but this will give you kind of an idea for the price for teacher, school, site, and district site license and the links. To access the course, once you've purchased it, you will be emailed a subscription form that you fill out and you return to our product support team. We're going to have the contact identified that will receive the email. They'll get that link to access the course. And then once they have that link, you're all set and you are off and running. So if you are interested in the Entrepreneurship online course, you can try it for free. And if you go to our website and in our store or product page, here is a place where you can unlock your free trial. And this will give you access to one entire free lesson that you can try with your students to see if it's something that would work well for you. So this is our website, www.realityworks.com. Again, you can go to the online course product page. You can even keyword search contemporary entrepreneurship, unlock your free trial and give it a try and see what you think. We hope you found this demo interesting and If you'd like to reach out and learn more about this, again, reach out to us at realityworks.com. Thank you very much.